back to CNN News 18. Thank you so much for staying with us. Here's a look at all the other developments that we're tracking for you right now. After the first round of breakfast meeting between Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and his deputy DKS Shivakumar, it is now time for Truth Talks 2.0. Shivakumar invited Siddaramaiah to his residence, saying, "Me and the Chief Minister continue to work together as a team," while the Chief Minister insisted that the party in the state is 100% united. This, of course, as you know, in the backdrop of speculations rife on whether there is some sort of a power tussle ongoing. Despite these assurances, much of course depends on the Congress High Command and the decision that they take, as the party maintains that all is well internally. All eyes now remain on the High Command to ensure unity and smooth functioning ahead of the upcoming political challenges.
ಮಂಗಳವಾರ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನನಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಗಳಿಗೆ ಕರೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವತ್ತು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದದು.
The much awaited winter session is beginning in Belagavi. So people are looking forward for that session to take up very serious issues, and government is still embroiled in its own conflict, in its own confusion. I think Congress, as a responsible ruling party, is not exhibiting its responsibility. It should be responsible. It should stop this dramabazi, and it should make it very clear about the leadership and face the session and really bring solutions to the people's burning issues.
All right, for more on this, we're now being joined by Reciprocal. Of course, first tell us where you are, and if you could just show us around. And we've seen this sort of a similar interaction, this breakfast interaction earlier as well. What are we really expecting this time around?
Well, we are right outside DK Shivakumar's house, and you had the Deputy Chief Minister who just stepped out a few minutes back just to check the preparations and perhaps also receive the Chief Minister, who's likely to be here in a short while from now. Remember, this is coming in days after a breakfast meeting that happened at the Chief Minister's residence, and now this is seen more as a courtesy visit or a reciprocal visit by the Chief Minister. Not much of a breakthrough that can be expected in this particular breakfast meeting. Remember, a lot of discussion happened at the breakfast meeting that happened at the Chief Minister's house, but with the Chief Minister making it very clear that any decision on leadership change or any solution to this power tussle will come in only once the Congress High Command decides on the matter. Not much can be expected. This is significant because this is the first visit of the Chief Minister or Siddaramaiah to DK Shivakumar's house ever since he joined Congress. Remember, Siddaramaiah joined Congress in 2006. After that, he's never
and there, of
reached
course, we're
DK
also
Shivakumar's
getting
house.
the live visuals. You're outside his residence. There we can see DK Shivakumar outside, perhaps waiting to welcome the Chief Minister as well. And we also have with us Afreen, who has been bringing us all the updates on this. Afreen, of course, we do know that this is being viewed as a temporary truce of sorts, perhaps, or at least that's what's being projected. What remains to be seen is really what's on the menu for this breakfast meeting, the second one that we're seeing right now.
Yes, absolutely, Him. And it's also expected that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is going to make the move soon. He is going to move from his residence to DK Shivakumar's residence. The gates are being cleared here for the Chief Minister's convoy to move. I'm here at the Chief Minister's residence at the gate here. I will be showing you the visuals as and when he moves from here.
Absolutely, Afreen. Let me just go back to Harish, who is also tracking this outside of DK Shivakumar's home for us. Now, of course, they are saying that there is going to be no confusion going forward, something that has been said by the High Command as well. They've asked them to put an end to this confusion once and for all. The reported 2023 sort of power sharing formula that keeps coming up in conversations as well. Do you think all's well right now?
Well, all is definitely not well, and perhaps what you're seeing now is an uneasy calm of sorts, because there was that phone call that was made from none other than KC Venugopal to both these leaders, and they've been told very clearly that there can't be any bickering in public, and that's why that meeting, that breakfast meeting that happened, and now this visit by the Chief Minister to DK Shivakumar's house. But one thing has become very clear. both these individuals are not budging from their stance. The Chief Minister is very clear that he will continue as the Chief Minister till the time that the High Command tells him to step aside, and he also has indicated that he's somebody who enjoys the popular support within the Congress legislature party. On the other hand, you have DK Shivakumar, who's been consistently pushing, saying that in 2023, a power sharing deal was in fact reached, and that's why he decided to become the Deputy Chief Minister. And now that this government has finished 2.5 years, Siddaramaiah should gracefully step aside and make way for him. But there is some bit of a consensus now on how both these leaders have now said that next move has to come in from the Congress High Command. It is the Congress High Command which has to tell Siddaramaiah to step aside, and only then can DK Shivakumar take over. And that's what even the Chief Minister has reiterated multiple times over the last several weeks. So clearly, with the High Command not willing to intervene at this point in time, this stalemate is likely to continue.
Right, absolutely. We are at an impasse here. As you mentioned, both remain very adamant and both bring their own set of bring their own set of issues as well as experience and their assets that they do bring to this party as well. When we look at DK Shivakumar, of course, he's seen as someone who's a troubleshooter, who's been loyal to the party as well. And then with Siddaramaiah, there's of course the issue, the element of experience that he brings. That being said, when we talk about the High Command, something that we keep circling back to, what do you think the perceptions are like within the ranks when it comes to the both of them?
Hey, Ajay is just left now from his house there. Brother.
All right. Harish, if you can hear me.
CM Barbeko. Yeah, I can hear you.
Right, so I was just wanting to understand what the perceptions are within the Congress High Command. The decision really just relies on them at this point when it comes to the two of them, Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar.
Well, it's a tightrope walk for the Congress High Command. Remember, clearly Siddaramaiah is somebody who enjoys mass support. He enjoys popular support within the Congress legislature party. But having said that, there are various things to consider. For example, the Chief Minister joined Congress in 2006 and he spent nearly 19 years in the party, out of which 17 years he's enjoyed power in different positions, whether as the Chief Minister for a tenure of around 7.5 years now, or as the leader of opposition for around 8.5 years, or the chairperson of the coordination committee when a Congress JDS government was in power. There is a sense within the old-time congressmen that here is a man who joined the party in 2006 and all along enjoyed power, and that is a rarity in the party. There are several others who spent decades together working for the party. For example, DK Shivakumar himself, he's somebody who's spent time in the Congress party and worked for the party since late or mid-80s, and he's now saying that at multiple points I've proven my loyalty for the Congress party, whether it's in the election of Ahmed Patel to the Rajya Sabha. Remember when Gujarat MLAs had to be brought in here, kept at the Eagleton Resort and ensured there was no horse trading, ensuring Ahmed Patel's victory and entry into Rajya Sabha. Or when he's multiple times reiterated that central agencies had pushed him to join the BJP and assured him that the cases would be removed, he still continued within the Congress party. He's known as the chief troubleshooter, and somewhere that loyalty has to be rewarded is his argument. Not just that, remember in 2023 when the Congress came to power, he was the Congress president, he was the KPCC president, somebody who's ensured that the party organization worked efficiently. Not just that, funding of an election is also a crucial aspect, and he's taken care of that. And he's now saying that when that deal was reached in 2003, it's time that that deal that was made in 2023 is honored and he be given the Chief Minister's post. Even as we speak, the Chief Minister's convoy just making its way towards towards the Deputy Chief Minister's house. That white car that you're seeing right now, that's what is carrying the Chief Minister, just about to enter DK Shivakumar's house here at Sadashiv Nagar, a posh locality in Bengaluru, and the Chief Minister accompanied by his team but no other leaders. Remember, this was the scene at the Chief Minister's house as well. It was made very clear that this breakfast meeting or the meeting that will happen has to be only between these two leaders. There can't be any supporters or other MLAs. And today as well, the Chief Minister not accompanied by any other MLAs or leaders. It's just him who's come in with his personal secretary, nobody else. So the Congress High Command has made its effort to ensure that these two leaders meet at least a couple of times and try and see if the scenario can be sorted out, or if the stalemate can be sorted out. The first one has gone ahead smoothly at Chief Minister's residence. The second one now happening at the Deputy Chief Minister's house. But unlikely that there will be any breakthrough or any end to this stalemate. As you rightly mentioned, this is something that now has to be decided by the Congress High Command. Does the Congress High Command want to intervene at this juncture? Remember, this is coming in at a time when they've been defeated in Bihar. They are looking at mounting pressure on the union government over the issue of SIR and have a massive rally on the 14th. The parliament session is on. When all this is happening, perhaps the Congress High Command wouldn't want an additional headache or additional issue for them, which perhaps acts as a diversion or adds to their misery in terms of what they have to deal with. And that's the reason even now both these leaders are very keen on going to Delhi, meeting the High Command, but they've been told very clearly that right now perhaps the High Command won't be able to engage with them, and they've been told that perhaps it's time that the initial conversation happens between two people who matter the most, that's DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah.
All right, now Afreen, let me come to you on that as well. We can see that Siddaramaiah has reached DK Shivakumar's residence right now. This is going to be the second breakfast meeting that is going to take place. That being said, beyond the theatrics, Afreen, what we're seeing right now, perhaps these are being seen by the High Command at least as some sort of an ice-breaking session between the two of them. Let's talk about the optics of this as well. If you remember, we were discussing this earlier when Priyank Kharge had said that the media is really reading in between lines. This was when the social media war of words had broken out. Everything is pretty much out there for everyone to see. The confusion very much remains within the ranks of the Congress at this point. All depends on the High Command's decision. What do you think they're trying to achieve by doing this?
Well, absolutely, Haim. The previous breakfast meeting between Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar, a key point that DK Shivakumar made was that, when the High Command asked him to wait earlier to be made a minister, he waited. And he said, this that you.
All right. I believe we seem to be having an issue with Afreen's line there. Harish, let me come to you on the same question. Let's talk about the theatrics and the optics about surrounding this as well. We're seeing this other meeting that's taking place right now. We very much know what's going on behind the scenes, at least for the most part. We don't know what sort of a formula is in place, what sort of a secret deal is in place. Those details remain under wraps right now. Yes. But when you talk about the optics of these two breakfast meetings, what are they trying to achieve?
Well, perhaps the message that the Congress High Command wants to send through Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar is that everything is fine within the Karnataka government. They're saying that there was no bickering. Remember, it had reached an ugly flashpoint where ex-handles of both these individuals started putting out veiled or cryptic tweets. You had DK Shivakumar who started it perhaps by talking about how word is power and talking about how one should keep their promise. And then later on, you had the Chief Minister taking to his X platform talking about how the promise was made for the people of Karnataka. It wasn't a mere slogan, but a promise made for a full 5-year term. Many seeing that as Siddaramaiah once again reiterating that he wants to finish his full 5-year term. And eventually, you had the Congress High Command intervening, KC Venugopal, in fact, ensuring that he has a telephonic conversation with both these leaders and then got them to meet. And after that, we've seen both these leaders avoiding making any statement that perhaps could add to this entire controversy, or their social media teams posting anything that can be read as a cryptic post with each of them taking a dig at other. And post that, we have seen the Deputy Chief Minister and the Chief Minister himself coming out, blaming the media and the opposition, saying that this is all created by the media and the opposition, but forgetting the fact that it started with the Chief Minister, his team, going in for a cabinet reshuffle, DK Shivakumar and his team reaching Delhi, some of his loyalist MLAs camping in Delhi, pushing for clarity, pushing for the Congress High Command to reward DK Shivakumar for his loyalty and the hard work that he's put in for the Congress party. All that played out in the open, but still you had the DCM and the Chief Minister coming out and blaming the media and the opposition for it, forgetting the fact that this entire drama played out in front of cameras in Bengaluru and Delhi, and the Congress AICC chairperson himself, Mallikarjun Kharge, who came out and said that there is confusion and there needs to be an end to it, and he would ensure that there is a meeting between all the people required to hold this meeting and decide and then put an end to that confusion. So you had the AICC chairman himself conceding that there is confusion in the state and there needs to be an end to it.
Absolutely. Now hold that thought. Of course, I'm going to come back to you on that one as well. We also are getting some reactions which are now coming in for this. Let's listen to them first.
Settlement, whatever has happened over the month or so, as suggested by the High Command, they're meeting for the second time. I think all the issues are settled.
Pizza on breakfast in CMO, sir. What is the necessary on DCM in house?
No, it's just reciprocal. That's all. Nothing else. Siddaramaiah ji had called Shivakumar, and now Shivakumar has called Siddaramaiah ji. So, it's just a nice development. We see as a nice development.
Why the CM and DCM are only doing the breakfast? Why the not cabinet and why the other not?
No, we'll do. We normally have the CLP meeting, and CLP meeting we normally have dinners after the meeting, and that's about it. So there is nothing wrong in it, and we also feel that everything is going smoothly.
All right, there we heard that reaction as well, that this is just a reciprocal breakfast meet that we're seeing right now. Of course, now, Afreen, let me just come to you on this. Harish and I were also discussing that entire war of words that broke out on X right now. Then my question is, when everything was played out like that, so publicly out for the all people to see, do you think we're really just, the Congress High Command is perhaps just relying on the naivety of the people to take these breakfast meetings as a sign that all's well? And do you think that's going to work?
Well, absolutely, Him. That's the Congress High Command's plan as of now, their first step of intervention, to make sure that the people of the state know that everything is fine between the Deputy Chief Minister and the Chief Minister, the top two leaders of who's ruling the people, who's come to power for 140 seats. Now, public bickering was something that we've been witnessing over the past few weeks after the, public tussle that came to light between both the leaders. Now, the High Command looks at these particular breakfast meetings as a way of telling the people that everything is fine between the two leaders. There is no power tussle as of now. The apparent jovial and, the very cordial mood between, something that we also noticed during the previous breakfast meeting, both of them smiling and both of them talking very cordially to the media, telling all of us that, they are united. There are no differences between them. They have been united and there were no differences. This is something that the media has created, the opposition has created, and they're going to come out. They've come out and, put up a very strong united front. But this is something that looks very temporary, that looks like a patch-up. The High Command has asked both the leaders to stay put until they take a final decision. And that's the reason why we heard both of them say that ultimately it's the High Command that needs to make a decision. And they're going to abide by whatever the High Command says.
All right, Afreen, thank you so much for that. Now, let me just quickly bring in Harish in this as well. Now, Harish, if you could just show us around a little bit what's happening right now, because I keep seeing that bouquet of flowers on the visuals that we're getting right now from outside the residence of DK Shivakumar as well. Afreen is calling this a temporary patch-up. Would you really call it that?
Well, nothing much expected from this meeting, as we've been telling that unlikely that there'll be any breakthrough as such. We'll just get you a glimpse of what's happening even as we speak inside DK Shivakumar's house. You have everyone who's been kept outside. What we do understand is that this is a meeting that will happen purely between the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister. Perhaps the family members of DK Shivakumar only there to ensure that anybody needs any help. They're given there in terms of the breakfast and anything else that they need at the table, but clearly no other leaders involved. But what is important to mention here is what has happened at the Chief Minister's house when that breakfast meeting happened last week. There was an honest conversation both these leaders have had. Both these leaders have stated what's in their heart, and both these leaders have made it very clear that it's the Chief Minister's seat. Siddaramaiah wants to continue in that. You have the the Deputy Chief Minister who's come out and said that this agreement that was reached upon in 2023 needs to be honoured, and both of them really being continuing to be not willing to budge from their stance. With that being the case, now it's reached the High Command. The High Command doesn't want to intervene now. What are the options in front of these leaders and the High Command? Perhaps the Congress High Command would want to buy a little more time. What are they looking at? There are several aspects to be considered. December 8th is the winter session of the Karnataka legislature. Perhaps the time now is very less for the Congress High Command to go in for a change in leadership. Will they convey that to DK Shivakumar, or will they let this continue for a few more weeks and then look at intervening sometime in January? Because that's a 2-week session that starts in December 8th, and the Congress will also be busy with the ongoing parliamentary session. And remember, there is also a big rally that they're planning for SIR and intensifying their struggle against SIR, which will happen around the 2nd week or 3rd week of December. So with that being the case, unlikely that the Congress High Command will intervene now. And at the same time, DK Shivakumar not relenting, continuing to mount pressure on the Congress High Command and Siddaramaiah. Although this is not happening in public over the last few days, both these leaders not willing to budge from their stance. What will now happen is the cabinet reshuffle that the Chief Minister was pushing for will go to the back burner. That won't happen anytime soon. At the same time, with the session starting, both these leaders have to put up a united front, because the opposition will try to pin the government over how the governance